ready to rewrite the rulebook on aging. We're diving deep into the Glow Code by Michelle McIvor, and it's packed with advice on feeling fantastic in your 40s and beyond. And trust me, this isn't your mother's wellness plan.
Right. Michelle really digs into the latest science and talks to top experts who are debunking some major myth about fitness, skincare, the whole works.
And that fitness part especially caught my eye. Michelle really tackles that feeling of life is too busy for a complicated workout routine. It's like she's reading my mind.
Totally. And she backs it up with some serious expertise. She introduces us to Dr. Stacy Sims, an exercise physiologist who specializes in women's health. We're talking published research, years of experience. She's the real deal.
Okay, so Dr. Sims, clearly the real deal. What kind of myths is she busting? Because I feel like I've heard them all.
Oh, get ready for this one. She tackles the fear of women getting bulky from lifting weights head on.
Okay, yeah.
Turns out that's just not how our bodies work.
Really?
We don't have the same hormonal makeup as men, so we won't bulk up the same way, even with heavy lifting.
Wait, so all that time I spent avoiding the heavy weights was for nothing. Tell me more.
Exactly. In fact, Dr. Sims actually encourages women to lift heavy. She even has this fun acronym for it. It's LHS, which stands for lifting heavy shit.
I love it. Straightforward
Yeah.
and to the point. But why is muscle so crucial, especially as we hit our 40s?
Think of it this way. Muscle is like the engine of your metabolism. As we age, we naturally start to lose muscle mass, which can slow down our metabolism and make it harder to maintain a healthy weight. But it's not just about the number on the scale.
Right.
Muscle also plays a huge role in bone health, energy levels, even cognitive function. It's like that brain fog that seems to creep in.
Yeah.
Building muscle can help combat all of that.
Okay, so muscle is a superhero. I get it.
Right.
But between work, family, life in general, who has time for hours at the gym?
Yeah, and that's where those outdated ideas about exercise come in. Dr. Sims, along with another expert in the book, exercise physiologist Abby Smith-Ryan, really emphasize the power of shorter, more intense workouts.
You mean like HIIT, high-intensity interval training?
Exactly. HIIT is great, and so is HIIT, high-intensity resistance training. Both can be incredibly effective in just a fraction of the time of your typical gym session.
Okay, hold on. How short are we talking here? Because I'm intrigued.
Think 10 minutes for a killer HIIT workout and just 20 to 25 minutes for HI.
Wow.
And here's the best part. The science behind these workouts is fascinating. They actually burn more calories and fat after you're done exercising, unlike traditional cardio.
Wait, so I can spend less time working out and still get better result. That sounds too good to be true.
It's the beauty of working smarter, not harder. These workouts tap into a process called EPOC, or excess post-exercise oxygen consumption. Essentially, your body keeps burning calories at a higher rate even after you've finished exercising, all thanks to those short bursts of intense effort.
Wow, that is a game changer. So ditching the long gym sessions and embracing the power of LHS in these short, intense workouts. But there's one more thing Michelle mentioned that I have to ask about. Protein coffee, is that really a thing?
Oh, absolutely. Michelle talks about how she started incorporating protein powder into her coffee, kind of like a protein latte, and it's actually a great tip, especially for women. See, Abby Smith-Ryan, she emphasizes that getting enough protein, particularly before a workout, is essential for us.
Okay.
It helps prevent muscle breakdown and supports recovery so we can really maximize the benefits of those intense workouts.
Okay, so we're ditching those long gym sessions, embracing the power of LHS and short, intense workouts, and maybe trying out a protein coffee. Feeling empowered already. What other fitness myths are busted in the Glow Code?
Get this. Michelle dives into the idea that our menstrual cycles can actually be a secret weapon when it comes to fitness.
No, that's something you don't hear every day. Tell me more, because I am fascinated.
Well, it turns out that our hormones fluctuate throughout our cycles, and understanding these fluctuations can help us optimize our workouts for better results.
Okay, so I'm guessing this is where Dr. Sims' expertise comes in again.
You know it. She breaks down how our energy levels, strength, and even pain tolerance can vary depending on where we are in our cycle. For example, during the first week or two after our period, when estrogen is on the rise, our bodies are primed for building muscle and pushing harder in our workouts.
That makes so much sense. I've definitely noticed I have more energy during certain times of the month, but I never connected it to my workouts before.
It's like having a superpower that we never knew about. And Dr. Sims gives specific workout recommendations based on each phase of our cycle, so we can work with our bodies, not against them.
Wow, that's incredible. It's amazing how much we're still learning about women's bodies and how to optimize our health at every age. So we're talking about working out smarter, not harder, listening to our bodies and understanding our cycles, and maybe even enjoying a protein coffee or two. This is definitely a refreshing take on fitness after 40.
Absolutely. It's about ditching the outdated rules and embracing what truly works for us, both physically and mentally.
Speaking of which, what about skincare? Because that's another area where I feel like the messaging can be so overwhelming and often contradictory.
You are preaching to the choir. Let's move on to part 2 of the Glow Code, which dives into skincare secrets that simplify your routine and help you achieve that radiant glow.
Okay, that was amazing. I feel like we just hit the reset button on fitness after 40. But Michelle doesn't stop there. She dives into skincare too, which, let's be honest, can feel like its own mysterious universe.
Right. It's so easy to get lost in the sea of serums and creams, each promising to be like the fountain of youth.
Totally. And don't even get me started on my bathroom cabinet, overflowing with half-used products.
Oh, I hear you.
Yeah.
But Michelle, she goes straight to the top. She interviews a leading dermatologist in Washington, D.C., Dr. Tina Ulster.
Dr. Ulster, wow, I feel like I've heard that name before. Doesn't she treat a lot of, like, those high-profile women and DC politicians, maybe?
Yes, exactly. And those women are serious about their skincare. They're constantly in the public eye, under harsh lighting, all of that. So they can't afford to mess around with products that don't deliver.
That's true, that's true. So what's Dr. Ulster's, like, secret weapon? What's the tea?
You might be surprised to hear it's not some fancy laser treatment or a 10-step routine that only, the ultra-wealthy can afford. Dr. Ulster is a huge advocate for consistency and simplicity.
Okay, so less is more. Tell me everything.
Basically, Dr. Ulster emphasizes that even with the best skincare routine now, past sun damage is a major culprit when it comes to aging skin. Think about it. All those years of sunbathing without sunscreen, or honestly, even just walking to the car without thinking about SPF, it adds up.
Ouch, yeah, I can feel that. Guilty is charged on the occasional sunscreen slip-up. So what's the game plan? How do we combat that past damage, but also protect our skin going forward?
Dr. Ulster breaks it down into a super simple 3-step routine. Vitamin C serum in the morning, retinol in the evening, and mineral sunscreen every single day. Rain or shine. No exceptions.
See, that's what I love to hear. A straightforward routine that even I can handle. It's like the skincare equivalent of those short, intense workouts Dr. Sims was talking about. Maximum impact, minimal time investment.
Exactly. And just like Dr. Sims debunked the myth of women getting bulky from lifting heavy weights, Dr. Ulster, along with Abby Smith-Ryan, takes on another popular trend: collagen supplements.
Oh, yeah, the collagen craze. I have seen those powders and pills everywhere. But do they really live up to the hype?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And both Dr. Ulster and Abby are pretty skeptical. They point out that the scientific evidence supporting the benefits of ingesting collagen for skin health is still pretty limited.
So all those Instagram ads promising youthful, glowing skin from a powder, it's maybe a little exaggerated.
Let's just say the science isn't quite there yet. There's a difference between what a company wants you to believe and what the research actually shows.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
So if collagen supplements aren't the answer, what is? What does Dr. Ulster recommend?
She's a big advocate for topical products that contain peptides. Peptides are like the building blocks of collagen, and when you apply them directly to your skin, it's much more effective than hoping that ingested collagen will somehow magically find its way to your face.
That makes a lot more sense. It's like taking a shortcut,
Yeah,
delivering those collagen-boosting ingredients right where they need to be.
precisely. And Michelle actually talks about how this advice from Dr. Ulster completely changed her own skincare routine. She went from having a cabinet full of products that she never used to a streamlined system with just a few key ingredients.
It's so empowering to realize that we don't need a million products to have healthy, radiant skin. Sometimes simplifying is the best approach. But, the Glow Code isn't just about the physical aspects of aging, right? It dives into the emotional side, too.
Absolutely. Michelle tackles this often overlooked aspect of body image and how our relationship with our bodies evolves as we age. And trust me, she brings in some incredible experts with some truly insightful perspectives.
Okay, now I'm even more intrigued. This is something I think a lot of women struggle with, but it doesn't get talked about enough. Tell me more. Okay, so we've talked about getting stronger and simplifying our skincare.
Yeah.
But, now I really want to get into this idea of body image and aging.
Yeah.
It feels like a whole other layer of this aging conversation that we don't really talk about enough.
You're so right. And Michelle brings in Dr. Jennifer Gaudiani, who's an expert in eating disorders and body image.
Okay.
And she really flips the script on how we view this whole thing.
Okay, I'm ready. Flip that script. What did she say?
Well, she talks about how, that pressure to be thin, especially for women, is so deeply ingrained, and it can be really harmful, actually.
Yeah.
And it even shows up in the medical advice that we get, which is kind of crazy to think about.
Really? Like doctors telling us to lose weight, that kind of thing.
Exactly. And Dr. Gaudiani, she envisions this world where doctors, encourage people to eat to satisfaction and to move their bodies in ways that they enjoy instead of defaulting to weight loss as the goal.
Wow. That's a huge shift from what we're used to hearing.
Yeah.
But it makes so much sense.
Right.
Shouldn't health be about how we feel, both physically and mentally, and not just what a number on the scale says?
Right, exactly. And, while body positivity is a fantastic goal, Dr. Gaudiani actually suggests that we aim for body neutrality as a more attainable starting point.
Okay.
Especially if you've struggled with body image issues in the past.
Body neutrality.
Yeah.
Okay. I like the sound of that. What does that really mean?
So it's about kind of taking a step back from that pressure to love every part of ourselves and instead just accepting our bodies for what they are. Recognizing that they're these incredible instruments that allow us to experience life. And that in itself is something to be grateful for, regardless of our shape or size.
It's like making peace with our bodies, even if we don't have that Instagram-worthy love for them all the time.
Right.
Which feels a lot more realistic.
Yes, exactly. It's more about shifting our focus away from those external pressures and those unrealistic beauty standards, and instead tuning into what makes us feel good.
Yes. Love that.
Yeah.
So how do we actually cultivate this sense of body neutrality? Because I think a lot of us are so used to that inner critic, chiming in all the time.
Yeah, for sure. Well, Michelle shares some really practical advice from Summer Inanen, who's a registered social worker and a body image expert.
Okay.
And Summer suggests things like ditching the scale, unfollowing those social media accounts that trigger negative comparisons, and basically just creating a more supportive and empowering environment for ourselves, both online and offline.
It's about taking control, right? Taking control of the messages that we're consuming and surrounding ourselves with. People and content that lift us up instead of dragging us down.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yeah. And, it all ties back to that overarching theme that we keep seeing in the Glow Code. It's not about, turning back the clock or chasing some unrealistic ideal or, punishing ourselves for not fitting into a certain mold. It's about embracing where we are in life, finding what truly makes us feel good, and just, enjoying the journey every step of the way.
That is such a good message. I think we all need to hear that. It's so easy to get caught up in the pressure to be perfect, especially as we get older. But like you said, aging is a privilege.
It is.
It's not something to be afraid of.
Yeah.
And the Glow Code really emphasizes that.
It does. It really does. And what I love so much about this book is that Michelle really emphasizes that every stage of life has its own beauty and its own challenges.
It does.
And it's about learning to appreciate those and finding joy in the present moment.
Oh, yeah.
And embracing the wisdom and experience that comes with, each passing year.
I love that. So as we kind of wrap up this deep dive into the Glow Code, I'm curious, what is one thing that you're going to be taking away from this? What will you be putting into practice in your own life?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think for me, it's definitely incorporating those short, intense workouts into my routine.
Yes.
Because I'll be honest, I've always been a little bit intimidated by the gym.
Yeah.
But knowing that I can get amazing results, in a fraction of the time is a game changer for me.
Yes. I am with you on that one. And you know what? I'm going to try Michelle's protein coffee hack.
Yes.
Anything to make those early morning workouts a little bit easier, right?
Exactly. And we can't forget about simplifying those skincare routines.
Yeah.
Vitamin C, retinol, sunscreen. That's the new mantra.
Yes. Love it. It's so simple, but so effective.
Exactly.
And, maybe most importantly, just giving ourselves a little more grace.
Yes.
Embracing this next chapter with confidence and joy and maybe a little less pressure to be perfect.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Well, this has been amazing. Thank you so much for taking this deep dive into the Glow Code with me.
Oh, it's been my pleasure. Honestly, this book was so insightful, and I think it's something that every woman should read.
Absolutely. And to all of our listeners out there, thank you for joining us. Remember, aging is a journey, not a destination.
So true.
So let's embrace it together, glow and all.